Hey there, welcome back to Work-Life Harmony. I know that it's fall and we're probably all consumed with pumpkins, maybe trick-or-treating, Halloween candy, etc. But I really want to spend today talking about what you could be doing already to help make November and especially December run that much smoother. I actually started my kind of Q4 holiday prep. And when I say Q4, I really mean November and December. I don't really do much prep as it relates to Halloween or fall. But I actually start mine back in early September. And there are three categories that I want to cover here today that can help you not feel quite so overwhelmed. So, quick little backstory. Many years ago, I can remember waking up on December 26th. And as I always do, I'm usually up before my family and sneaking downstairs, let the dog out, made that first cup of delicious hot coffee. And I curled up in the living room where we had all of our Christmas decorations, carnage still from the day before. And I remember looking around and just thinking, I called it like, I felt like I had a holiday hangover. I was so exhausted. I was so tapped out. I felt like I had been going at a sprinter's pace, but running an entire marathon that way, with all of the hullabaloo that happens in the kind of pre-Thanksgiving through the end of December. And I remember thinking, I'm pretty sure my family had a really great time, but I didn't. I was so tired. And I made a decision that year to say, I've got to do things differently for next year, because it isn't my job to make sure everyone else has great memories. I deserved to have those too. So I really got to work in thinking, what could I do to minimize the stress of the kind of pre-Thanksgiving to the end of the year madness? Now, you can't do everything ahead of time, right? There's events, there's holidays, there's things, there's fun, and we want to be able to enjoy those. So in order to do that, we need to offload as much as we can ahead of time to create that space and not feel so exhausted. So the three places that I am really able to lean in and start pre-planning and actually getting stuff done is around gift purchasing, scheduling, and then, believe it or not, food preparation. So let's talk about all three of those. So first, the gift one. Here's a simple thing that you can do. First, make a list of everybody you need to purchase gifts for. And don't forget about the teachers, the coaches, all of that, right? Hostess gifts, everything. Literally make a list of every person that you choose to purchase or even make gifts for. Then the second thing that you want to do is make a decision for yourself on, when do I want to be done with my holiday shopping? Now, I don't mean like a fun last minute stocking stuffer or gag gift or something, but like the bulk, the stuff that requires more of the stress and time. And for me, I like to be done on December 1st with the core shopping, so that if I choose to spend a day to go out and do holiday shopping, it's more from a place of enjoying the music, the decorations, and not this have to stress. So once you know how many gifts you need to purchase, when you want them all purchased, then it's just simple math of looking between what's the current date, what's the date I want done, how many gifts do I need to buy, therefore, how do I back into how many gifts per week, right? So let's say, we'll just do easy math here, you had 14 gifts to purchase, you had 7 weeks until you wanted to be done with your shopping. That means if you just thought about 2 gifts a week, you could be done. Now, I know a lot of us do like to leverage Black Friday sales, but what you can do ahead of time is still work on that list of gifts. And if you know what you want to get people that you believe will have Black Friday sales, when those sales come, you can instantly just jump into motion and get it done. That way you're not sucked into things maybe you didn't need. So I am well underway with my holiday shopping already. At the time I'm recording this, it's actually still September, and I'm almost halfway done, and it feels great. Now, let's talk about scheduling, right? There are a lot of things that will pop up last minute that we want to enjoy. So it's really important that we make sure we preserve time on our calendar for the things that we really want to do that are important to us. And they're going to be different for everybody. So it's a great time for you to think about, Do you have traditions, events, etc., that you know happen or that you need a significant amount of time for that you should proactively block and preserve time on your calendar? So for instance, we don't do a lot of outdoor decorations, but you may be someone, and if you are, I thank you because we love looking at it, that really goes all out on their lawn decorations and house decorations for the holidays. And maybe that's a full weekend affair for you. Now's the time to go look at your calendar and say, what weekend am I doing it? So that you protect it, so that you're not in the heat of the moment going, oh my gosh, when am I going to get this done? And you're, hanging lights at 5 in the morning or 10 o'clock at night, right? Also, when you think about your schedule, are there days that you like to do a lot of holiday baking? Maybe you want to get that earmarked. Another great thing with the schedule is if you've got young kids, if they have fall breaks or Thanksgiving breaks, look back to that list of gifts that you're giving. If you have kids that like to make gifts, use their time off from school to get a head start on that. And that's kind of a win-win, right? And then finally, another great scheduling tip is around travel. So if you're traveling for the holidays, or if you have people traveling into you, once you have those dates set, make sure that you block the day before and the day after, and prevent other people from booking your time. That way, if you are heading off for a week trip, the day before that trip, right now, go block your calendar so that you have the whole day to dot your I's, cross your T's, do whatever you need to do in a stress-free way to prep. Otherwise, what could happen is you could have colleagues, friends, coworkers, whatever, hijack your entire calendar that day before, and then you're up at 3 a.m. getting ready, right? Same with on your return. I always block my calendar for my first full day home so that I have the space to unpack, breathe, or if I had company, get the house cleaned up, do laundry, just have that quiet space before jumping back into the fray. Now, the third thing I mentioned we were talking about is food. And I know it's crazy to think, how can you possibly prep for food this far ahead of time? Well, there's two types of things that you can do. One is think about, do you have any food traditions? That is food that it can be bought frozen or purchased ahead of time and it still tastes great. And especially if they are like signature holiday favorites that sometimes are hard to find. So one thing my husband loves to do on Christmas Day, he loves to cook us a steak and have Alaskan king crab legs. Well, sometimes they're hard to find if you wait right to the last minute and the price goes up. But you purchase them frozen, at least we do. And so we could go ahead and purchase those right now when the prices are down and the supply is good and tuck them away. That also helps spread out the cost, right? Same if you buy a frozen turkey for Thanksgiving. You could go ahead and maybe purchase one now and tuck that away, and then you're not stuck with the stress of trying to find things last minute. Now, another part of the food is there may be things that you can make ahead of time. And I think I've shared this story before, but we love to give out a lot of great holiday cookies. My daughter and I like to do a lot of baking. We exchange with neighbors, etc. Well, a couple of our cookie recipes freeze beautifully. And then we can just take them out of the freezer, let them thaw naturally, and they taste fantastic. Well, if you have those kinds of things, you could start making them now. And one thing we actually started this over the summer. I did a Christmas in July day with my daughter. We put on Christmas music and we got out all the Christmas cookie decorating, and we made a huge batch of our famous Christmas sugar cookies, and they're tucked away in the freezer. Now, we're not going to do all of our holiday baking ahead of time. Not all of it freezes well, and we enjoy baking, over the holiday season. But what I don't enjoy is that feeling of have to, and it's just not fun anymore. So by piecing this out and kind of slow rolling, we did some baking over the summer. We're going to do some over her fall break. We'll do probably a little bit over Thanksgiving break. Then the baking that we choose to do right at the holidays can be the stuff that is like making gingerbread houses. That's more in the moment, and it won't feel like one more thing I have to do because I've already done so much ahead of time. So if you found this helpful, I would love for you to let me know. And more importantly, if you have another tip that helps you prepare for the holidays, of kind of things that you can do ahead of time, please come find me over at Instagram. You can just look for me at Megan Sumrell, DM me and let me know, or take a screenshot of this podcast, tag me and share your favorite kind of pre-planning holiday tip as well, so that we can do our best work together in helping alleviate some stress and overwhelm as we roll into the holiday season. Have a great one.